Hey guys, welcome to the Canada Puck Podcast, your weekly recap of what's going on in the world of sports, specifically hockey, and even more specifically, the hockey that's in Canada? Oh, I stumbled on that one. I'm your co-host, Mick. You can find me on Twitter at ProfitMick, and I'm joined every episode by lovely and talented co-host
Grant on Twitter at Fourth Line Sports. It's been a couple weeks, and I think the divide has only gotten bigger. And the divide specifically I'm referring to is between playoff and non-playoff teams.
Yeah.
We're at that point of the season where it's just not worth it for some teams. And then the teams that it shouldn't be worth, somehow they try harder. So here's looking at you, Senators.
Yep. Yeah. We'll just be terrible all season, but the last 15 games, oh baby, we're going to be a hot, one of the hottest teams in hockey. Awesome. Cool. Great.
Yeah, way to screw yourself out of that other top draft pick, guys.
Yeah, that's a shame. That's a shame. There isn't, too much to talk about in terms of, what do you want to say, like playoff race, especially in the West. In the East, there's a couple teams, so we can kind of briefly touch on the Metropolitan if that tickles anyone's fancy. But I don't know. I just kind of looked at the schedule. Yeah, basically Philadelphia gets, I think, Buffalo and Columbus this weekend. So.
Here's the curious thing about this, though. Philadelphia is actually underdogs against Buffalo for some reason. And I was thinking about this. I was like, and you know what? Maybe Buffalo deserves to be favorites, but the way that they have looked recently and what's on the line for Philadelphia, it kind of shocked me. I was like, okay, so be it.
Interesting. Well, I wish I would have known that before the game started, unless you have some live betting apps. We'll go from there. So if this is your first show, we're doing kind of a, what do we want to call this? End of season, sort of, kind of, post, end of season recap, and then like next time we talk before the postseason will be like a preseason primer? Maybe more like no matchups. So we'll do kind of like postmortems on teams and just like call it quits on a couple of the losers this week.
That's basically, I think that's how the evening's going to shake out. We got some Canadian teams to lament and hopefully for the last time this season, and then squarely pointed towards the postseason the next time we chat.
Awesome, solid. So with that, let the post-mortem begin. Dun, dun, dun. WrestleMania weekend, too. We better be playing Undertakers right now, so.
Oh, man, I didn't know it was WrestleMania weekend.
Yeah,
we're getting into, like, prime WWE schedule.
Yeah, it's cooking there, guys. So we're scrolling up from the bottom. I got the standings here. We'll see when a Canadian team pops up, and then we get to say that they're dead. So, bottom 5, Arizona, Montreal at 27th. Ooh, shocking. I really thought it was a different team, but as Grant alluded to, they've been playing some pretty nice hockey. So,
Yeah, it's sad. We've been talking about the Senators in the bottom 3 spots until literally this podcast, and here we are getting to talk about the Habs first. Truthfully, I don't got a whole bunch to say. This team is what we thought they would be, and that is in the development stages of the rebuild. And there's going to be some tough losses. Goaltending, if they don't address goaltending, I have a hard time believing this is a team that competes anytime soon.
Yeah,
but other than that, things look good up front. If you just tidy up the crease and bring in a few more defenders, this team's probably going to compete sooner rather than later.
Yeah, we'll see. We'll see what the offseason looks like, right? There's sometimes GMs just do silly things in this league, and if you have some cap space and a little bit of capital, like you can make some pretty significant deals, right? So, maybe there's a disgruntled superstar that joins La Belle Provence, but yeah, outside of that, I think try and get a top draft pick here and go from there.
The best part is they're going to ruffle the Canadians are going to ruffle people's feathers in the post or in the off season. Maybe it's an offer sheet. Maybe it's they draft some criminal. Who knows? But this is probably like the most exciting time for Habs fans. You're going to lose October to April, but you're going to do something goofy that attracts the entire world's attention in the off season. Just wait.
Oh, can't wait. From there, though, we scroll up to the Senators at 26th overall. It's tied, actually, with Montreal. 75 games played, 70 points on this season. And, yeah, they started climbing the standings at the wrong time.
It's just... What a sad sack of a franchise this is. The one time when you're like, you know what? We're close. we need a top piece. We need to mix things up a little bit. And they're like, nah, let's do what we do every year and actually put in some effort when it matters least.
Yeah, they got some quality wins on the board right here. Like the Islanders, they're in a chase. They beat them in overtime. The Oilers, there you go. Devils, Jets. Okay, yeah, some quality wins. Why? We'll never know, but why indeed?
Why indeed? That's the question we're left asking. It's a rhetorical question you won't get the answer to on the Canada Puck podcast, but hopefully Ottawa Senators, this is the last time we have to speak about you until October, because I've just, after wanting to be your fan, I just can't. Fuck you guys.
You guys need like a monumental offseason to kind of get the needle back on like, I give a fuck about this team. So that's kind of where that in my mind. With that, though, that gets us two teams. Are we playing a Puck Doku today?
Oh, shit. I didn't even think of that. Puck Doku. Let's do it. We got to do the puck.
All right, awesome. So 2 teams down. I will pull up the Puck Doku for the day. And, look at that. There's not the Oilers in it. Wow, Grant. I finally caught you off guard. Across the top, we have the Leafs, Dallas Stars, and 10-plus wins in the postseason career. And then down the side, we have the Arizona Coyotes, Washington Capitals, and the Ottawa Senators.
Wow, the balance is finally tilting in your favor. Look at this.
Yes, very nice, very nice.
You know what? This is how nice I'm going to be. I'm actually going to let you, as a Toronto Maple Leafs fan, hold the first pick. You go ahead. You lead us off.
You're a kind gentleman. I'm going to start with one of my near and dear ones that just for some reason always sticks in my head. Toronto, near and dear. Washington Capitals. This has nothing. Eric Fear. He played for both of them. I'm just going to say that. This is a random fact I know. Eric Fear. Perfect. 1%. Yes.
All right. I'm hoping that the 10-plus wins postseason career, I'm assuming that doesn't apply to the team. Like, do you have to have a postseason win with that team?
Clarification, please. No, I clicked on it. It didn't say anything. 10-plus wins in the postseason career. So I would think in total, yeah, as long as you played for that team. But
we're going to find out the hard way.
All right, yeah, sure.
Because everybody's going to have Craig Anderson as 10-plus wins in Ottawa. But he also ended his career in Washington, I believe. So why don't we do 10-plus wins, Capitals, Craig Anderson.
All right, let's do this. Craig Anderson. 2%.
2%? I fucking doubled you with that pick?
You doubled me. All right, well, I'll go back to the old drawing board for the next one here. I've got to go back to the standings, though, because I don't know them off the top of my head. It's been a couple weeks, and I don't do this by myself unless Grant's here. So, what? And then the Calgary Flames with 25. Yeah, wow. Huh. That's a nice little Canadian stack there. Well, I guess actually it's an Ottawa stack. Because they're in the middle. Wait, how do you define a stack?
Stack? It's got to be at least 3 in a row.
Yeah, so we got the Flames, Senators, Canadians, and like, would I say it's a Flame stack because they're at the top, or is it a Montreal stack because like everyone's on top of them?
Or is it like a Senators threesome where Senators are just getting it from both ends?
Yeah. See, these are the questions, the tough stuff we ask here. Calgary Flames, they apparently haven't been playing so well.
Well, this is a team that got the memo. This is the team that is doing what they are supposed to do and auditioning players, building culture, doing what they should be to insulate their bevy of draft picks that they're going to be getting in June. Yeah. So, I mean, they're still competitive. Their analytics are still in place. But when you have a team that has basically shipped away half of their talented players and you're getting by with, well, we'll call them schlubs, and that might be overselling it. When you're getting by with schlubs, you're going to underperform relative to your analytics. So that's just what this team is doing. And I think it's actually a good strategy. Get exposure, develop players, get a good eye on people when they're competing against the best the NHL has to offer, and make a better decision or have the best decision to make in October when you know what these players are actually about. So kudos to the Flames. I think that they're doing this properly, unlike the Senators.
Yeah, that helps. It helps just like have a couple losses when you should have losses towards the end of the season. Good job, Flames. I don't think about you. at all. So,
yeah, I'm actually done thinking about these guys too.
yep. All right, so that's another team down. How high do we have to get before we get a next Canadian team? Are they all top 10? So
I was going to say, over-under is 10.5. Are you taking the over or the under?
10.5. I'm going to take the under.
Okay, I respect the hell out of that. I'll go over just for the sake of sheer entertainment.
All right, here I am clicking, scrolling up. Ooh, 10. Son of a... Toronto Maple Leafs at 10 from the top. 10 from the top,
10?
yeah.
Yeah, so you won.
Yeah.
I said 10.5, so you got the under. Under cashes.
Oh, okay. Yeah, awesome. Solid. Cool. Dumb. I was thinking because it was like I was doing the opposite way on like my screen. I'm going up, so that's why I was thinking under. So I wanted to get I thought someone was in 11th place. So good job, me.
I always have that battle when I'm betting NFL props for some reason. I just I can't get my head around over under with NFL props. I'm like, oh god, what does this all mean?
I had a pretty bad playoff loss where I definitely wanted an under and bet a lot on the over, and I was like, oh, son of a. You really got to check those ones. That's really got you. So.
Yeah. Sometimes we get in our own way.
That's it. So, Toronto Maple Leafs, what has been going on?
You would have a better idea of what's going on with these guys than me. Not that I'm not paying attention. I know that Matthews is up to 63 tallies. Mm-hmm. They had a couple big wins, but I will say this: it was so much. I'm assuming you were watching on Saturday night. I guess this past week when they were in Buffalo, when Matthews got 60.
Mm-hmm.
Did you see that celebration? That was a home ice celebration.
Yeah.
In Buffalo.
Oh, the whole game. There was MVP chants. Let's go. I mean, that's been said for forever. Where as a Buffalo Sabres season ticket holder, you can basically go to the whole season and just sell out Montreal, Montreal, Ottawa, and Toronto, and essentially make back your season ticket sales. Just don't go to those games, and you can basically go and watch Sabres hockey for free all season, right? So.
That sounds almost kind of like a punishment, though. All right, we're going to take out all the marquee teams. You can either go to jail for 6 months, or you can go buy 2 beers against Buffalo, Columbus, every game they come to town.
That's jail. There's a lot more man love, so.
Well, I mean, you got to play your cards right then. If you're into the man love, sure, take the jail card.
Yeah, I guess that is a defining factor of what I'm going for. I'm like, well, hockey games really aren't gay enough for me, so. Okay,
well.
Other than Austin Matthews' chase here, I don't think he's gonna hit the pace. I don't know. Is he gonna get 70? Probably not. He at some point should probably sit, but at least something to kind of keep its eye on. They're cemented probably in a playoff spot with I think they need a point. Right, so they're going to at least see the postseason again this year, but their opponent is yet to be determined. They could get second and be home ice in the first round. They could be third, right, be the away team. They could even fall into the wild card spot. Tampa Bay's clipping along right now. Maybe they slide down and end up playing the Rangers or something, or Boston potentially, right? So still a little bit of movement there in Leaf land, but it's kind of nice that I think this is the first time in 3 years where their opponent hasn't been locked in place for the last 2.5 months, so it's kind of something to look forward to.
That is exciting. And this team's it felt like they were up until this point tidally locked into the third spot, but the Bolts have made a climb up the standings. Who are you most worried about? If the Toronto Maple Leafs have to take on one team in the postseason in the first round, what is the one team you don't want them to face?
And based on just how they were playing the other night on Wednesday, and I don't want to just say this is recency bias, because they beat the Florida on Monday, but Tampa Bay is looking pretty good right now. They're coming into form. They're going to be healthy, right? At pieces they added, the trade deadline are working. Vasilevsky's playing some pretty healthy hockey right now, and that's the one team. If I'm going to say what team can kind of the Leafs get goalied by, which kind of seems to be their MO, that would be the team where I'd be a little bit less shaking. And if you want to do power ranking, then Boston, just because of the history, Florida, New York.
Okay. Thankfully, it sounds like you guys are going to avoid Tampa in the first round. But I was thinking the exact same thing, and not just for the quality of hockey that Tampa's playing, but also the playoff history. And it seems like you guys kind of overcame the Bruins hill last year, 2 years ago, last year.
It was Tampa Bay last year.
Oh, was it Tampa Bay? Yeah. I thought it was Bruins. Okay, never mind. I guess my point is moot then.
Yeah, there you go. So, so we'll see. Something to at least keep your eye on. Watch Austin Matthews kind of chase it and see where they end up. But we get postseason in Toronto. And we also get to go back to the Puck Doku board, which means I went first last round. I'm going to go first this round. That's how it works, which I'm going to stay as my homer category. And I'm going to go with the Toronto Maple Leafs, Ottawa Senators. And I'm going to go with a remnant of the, I believe it was like the Dion Phaneuf trade. One of the pieces that came back with a Milan Mahalik.
Oh, damn. Dig it deep.
2%. All right, I'm at 3% through 2 picks.
So you stole my square. I was going to do Matt Murray there. I got mine open here. I'm going to see what Matt Murray's worth in that square. Oh, God, there's 2 Matt Murrays. 15 to 23.
Yeah.
Matt Murray was 8%, so actually you did me a favor there.
You're welcome.
But it only counts if I make the most of it. All right, I'm going back to the goalie category. There's also a goalie I'm hoping most people forgot played in Arizona. Curtis Joseph. Curtis Joseph spent like a season, maybe half a season, and I know that he's got more than 10 career postseason wins.
Oh, okay. You don't want to do you don't want to do the Leafs one? Let's see how it's going to be. Curtis Joseph for 5%. Which,
God damn it! 5% of people remembered that.
5% of people. There you go. Wow. I wonder with the Leafs sitting there, like that's one of those ones that starts ticking on. Like they're like, oh, Cujo. What's he been up to? So all right. So we've got a game, guys. Normally Grant, he's been pretty good historically. So 7 to 3%. One more round after this, but we got to find out who's ahead of who. And at number 9, we're going to the Oilers. How did the Oilers seem like they've lost nothing but like games for 2 weeks since playing the Leafs, but yet still have more points than them? That is interesting math, Edmonton. Cool.
Edmonton, for some reason, they just get in their own way, and their most recent game against the Stars was a good example of that. They just couldn't get anything going on the power play. It felt like one of those spots, too. Like, I know that we're at points being a lot. You want to run Stuart Skinner out, but at the same time, you kind of want to insulate your young netminder, because as you saw last year, or I may remind you, as we saw last year, Skinner fucking imploded in the playoffs, and it's because he played 70 games, and he had never played, I think it was 48 games or something like that prior to that in his career. So huge jump in volume, and I don't think that the Wednesday night's game was an opportunity to just leave him in there. I think it would have been more ideal to just say, hey, Skinner, take the night off. We're going to mail this one in because everyone else did, so why would you leave Skinner? But anyways, not all of that's to say they're still kind of within striking distance of the top spot in the Pacific. They need everything to go right. They got a game against Vancouver coming up. They're going to need some help. They blew their one of their games in hand. So anyways, we'll see how it all shakes out. But this team, I'm not wild about the inconsistent nature of their play right now. But at the same time, if you're going to get it out now.
Awesome.
Because you don't want to just hit that analytics hump right when the playoffs start.
And I thought I saw a stat somewhere that the Oilers haven't actually won a Pacific titles in the last 15 years or something like that. They've won like 1 or 2 in the last 20 years. So
87 was the last time we won.
All right. So like we're talking on going on 36 years at this point, 37 years, right? Winning the Pacific title, or Connor McDavid becoming the point leader. Does that get him a Hart Trophy this year?
No, I've already said this. The league has made up its mind. The voters have already made up their mind. Connor McDavid, even though he shows that he's one of these super talented players, arguably the most talented player in the world, anyways, not getting the love he deserves in this category.
What about in the world where Pittsburgh Penguins finished 3rd in the Metropolitan, fueled by Sidney Crosby's late push to get them into the postseason? Does that not have Hart Trophy? Do you not see Hart? Crosby, maybe McKinnon up there. Maybe Austin Matthews with a 70. Really throw someone. You still think McKinnon gets it in that situation?
I honestly do. I think that there's nothing that could shake people out of this. It was the same thing with Taylor Hall when Taylor Hall won it with the Devils 6 years ago, 7 years ago, whatever that was. Everybody just wanted him to win it. It was just he didn't have the most points, or he had like 90 points, 93 points. It was just this reclamation story where, he finally did it. He finally proved that he was the best player in the world. Here's your Hart Trophy.
What is McKinnon's reclamation story? He had a donut this offseason, and he's like really worked back through the adversity of having those extra like 160 calories in his body one day.
That's it. When you talk to people who believe McKinnon is the Hart Trophy winner, it is based on the fact that he's never won it and he deserves it. He's not the best player in the game right now. Yeah, he's not.
No, it's a shitty excuse. But I get it. Do we have another Canadian stack coming up? Oh, we do! No way. We have a Oilers threesome here. So we're going to talk about the Winnipeg Jets next here. Pull up their schedule. Winnipeg Jets schedule. They did something yesterday. They must have had a game. They must have won Thursday. Yeah, they beat Calgary. Why do I know that? Because I saw a lot on Jets Twitter that the Jets had just kind of clear out won the Dubois trade. Glad everyone else caught up on that point. I kind of thought that was like almost a no-brainer right at the beginning. So I'm glad everyone else kind of pulled up alongside me on the bandwagon on that one. So
yeah, well, Winnipeg's been underwhelming, we'll say.
They have a 6-game losing streak to end the month? Wow.
Prior to their win against the Flames, yeah, they were not looking good. Connor Hellebuyck, he was falling apart too. And anyways, that was the hopefully the turning point of their season, because if not, the last thing you want to do is stumble further into the playoffs. And this team, and given their track record of just constantly falling apart, it just would have been the poetic end that they needed to lose in the first round. They're out of the Central Division running. They barely, I think they're still inevitably top three, I think they're still top three no matter what. But it's just been a fall from grace. It's not even the 6-game losing streak. Going back a little further than that, I want to say they have like maybe 4 wins in their last 12. It's been a stretch.
Yeah. All right. Well, that's a good time to go cold, Winnipeg. End of the year. Good job. But that means another team done, talked about, discussed. Last round of Puck Doku, guys. So we've got a 7-3 game here. Can I keep it low enough? There's still a couple good squares here. We haven't looked at the Dallas category. Can I go off the board and go with Dallas? No. Just stay with your strategy. You know how to win this. This victory's in sight. Don't veer from the path. But it's right there. I could be funny. I could really go for some type of kill shot. No. Just don't even think about it. However,
I say do it. Do it. Don't be a little bitch about this.
Well, you're gonna tough talk me. 2 squares to choose from. I just don't know. You know what, Grant? Why don't I do you the honors? I'll take. I got 2 easy ones, 2 layups. Here you go. Please beat me.
Oh man, I wasn't expecting this. I was expecting. So one name that came to.
If you're only gonna win once a year, you can't be humble. Let's put it that way.
All right.
Like, so you know the asshole guy who's fucking shaking the champagne? That'll be me if I win right now. But, like, then it shows off and I'm, like 15th down the pyramid. Like, I'm not even close onto the podium.
All right. I'm not 100% confident on this one, but I think it gives me my best chance of winning. And I think it blocks one of the squares that you probably have somebody even more unknown than me. So, did Matt Stajan play for both the Coyotes and the Maple Leafs?
Ooh, Matt Stajan. Let's see. Matstagan. Matt Stajan. That's an incorrect. Huh. So, as long as I don't pick someone over 50-something%, I get a winner.
54% cushion here.
So I'm kind of curious. Like, does Matt Murray count for the Senators? Postseason wins, because he played on their roster, but I don't think he ever got a win for them.
Yeah, I don't think Anderson got a postseason win. Anyways, you're gonna win no matter what.
Yeah, so that's kind of what I'm thinking here. So we're gonna go with Matt Murray in that category. Matt Murray. There's 2 of them. We want the one to 2023. Boop, 5%. All right, there you go. So.
Not bad, not bad. Well, congratulations on the big win. Man, you just mercied me too. What is that? 8% total on 3 squares? Hell of a showing.
That's not bad. Thank you, thank you. I mean, it had to happen eventually. Like, there was a lot of times where we did have, like, Oilers, and I was like, what is happening?
It's, you talk yourself into something. I convinced myself that Matt Stajan played in Arizona. Obviously, he didn't.
Current Leafs defenseman Connor Timmins gets you at 2% on Leafs Coyotes. That means we have 2 picks left. Do you think we can get these last 2? I feel like there's a Dallas... Washington.
Spezza played in Dallas, Ottawa, but it's going to be a higher number.
Spezza, 28%. And then our last one... Did, like, Brett Hull? Didn't he play for the Coyotes and the Stars?
Yeah. Yep, you're right, he did.
Brett Hull. 13%? What? Like... Okay, I'm curious. Do you see the stats? Like, who is higher than Brett Hull? Max Domi. Oh, okay. Sure, yeah, cool, awesome. All right, so with that, look at that. First Puck Doku Championship of the year. Yes, I did it, guys. I didn't get shut out.
You get it. You go, girl. Get it, girl.
All right. And then finally, that means we only have to crown our Canada Puck Champion of the Week, which they might have went coast to coast on this one. I don't know if we ever talked about another team. Oh, no, the Jets, actually. The Jets surpassed them at one point. So those pathetic losers losing 1 week. Psh, man, they should feel terrible about themselves. Vancouver Canucks, what's been going on? Just hanging out, playing the Sharks 4 more times in a row? And I'm like, that seems odd. I don't know.
Yeah, they have overcome some goaltending issues, we'll call it. With Thatcher Demko out, I've been impressed that Casey DeSmith has held this team together as long as he has. But if Thatcher Demko is not back for the start of the postseason, I am curious to see whether or not the Canucks can pull this off in a 7-game series.
Yeah.
The thing that pisses me off is that now they have this kind of automatic scapegoat to be like, oh, we weren't at our best because we didn't have Thatcher Demko. And I want them to lose in the postseason, but I don't want them to have any excuses.
Gotcha. Yeah, it looks like they've fallen a little bit. Dallas has a bit more points than they're tied with Colorado, so they're not staying on top. That means they're probably getting Nashville in the first round. I mean, Nashville's playing pretty good hockey right now. Like, it's not the easiest matchup, but yeah, we'll see how it all pans out. Oilers still have a chance. Like I said, they might have a chance of getting to the top of the Pacific. And who knows, maybe Vegas goes on a run here, and they end up on top.
God, that would make me so angry. If we're talking about the Vegas Golden Knights as Pacific Division winners, I'm going to fucking flip a table, Mick. I swear to God.
All right. Come on, Vegas.
Come on,
Vegas. So with that, I actually don't know where we're going. We kind of just jumped into it today without much discussion. So that's it. That ends our recap. We are up to date. We are going to do a something. Do you want to just talk about games? Do you want to do gambling? Do you want to do...
I was just taking a peek. I can't find game lines for tomorrow.
I think they come up. We've done this before on a Friday night. We have to wait till like the start of the 8 o'clock. So we're hours ahead.
Okay, well, let's do look ahead. And the winners, I can't even remember. It's not Bettor Advice, but the look ahead schedule, the look ahead game, the Peepin' Toms. We'll call that segment the Peepin' Toms. We're looking ahead.
All right, there we go. So the look aheads. What we're doing is we're picking 3 games each, and if you win the Puck Doku, you get an extra pick. So that's why Grant has way more points than I do, but I get the extra pick this week, so I get 4 choices. That's pretty exciting. I'm currently at about 13-5, which means I'm just not getting that extra fluff pieces, and Grant's 12-12. So
yeah, I'm not good with this look ahead stuff. I've been Better Advice.
Yeah,
I'm doing all right on this time of year, but man, this Peepin' Tom business, not for me.
No, it's not a peeper like me. I got the peepers. Peepers for peeping. All right.
What do you got?
I'm going to go first. I'm going to look at... I talked about it off the stop. Could Sidney Crosby, who's been playing really good hockey right now, come back, lead them to the postseason. Potentially, could they be doing that? However, I did see a pretty well-oiled machine in the Tampa Bay Lightning on the ice the other day. I think they're pushing for potentially. I don't even know if they care who they win, but just based on the strength of the Lightning in general in the past little history, I'm going to take the Tampa Bay Lightning over the Pittsburgh Penguin tomorrow morning.
Ooh. Starting things off right. That's going to be a hell of a game. I've always had a soft spot in my heart for Sidney Crosby, but since this Kyle Dubas debacle, I've had nothing but bad feelings towards this franchise. So, anyways, what I am looking at is I'm going to go to another matinee. Winnipeg Jets, Minnesota Wild, the friendly neighbors of South Central Canada and North Central United States. Anyways, they're like 3 hours apart. Boop. I think Winnipeg is finally, I'm not going to say reversed their curse, but they are trending upwards with the recent performances. Minnesota Wild, this game is going to a shootout without question. Don't get me wrong. It's 100% a shootout game, overtime/shootout game. But I like Winnipeg to escape with the full 2 points. Winnipeg over the Wild.
Solid choice. Like it. I am going to keep rolling with. Let's preview the. Are we just going to fade the Metropolitan? I think Philadelphia, for some reason, is going to have a very lucky weekend. Like I said, they're playing Buffalo tonight. They have Columbus. And then I don't think anyone's going to be doing them other teams are going to be doing them favors. Correct me. So we're going to see maybe some John Tortorella in the postseason, which, just based on how his sound bites have been going, it gives a bit more entertainment than some of these other squads, right? And fuck these other squads. They have some management. I don't care about Patrick Waugh. Patrick Waugh, you should not be with anyone but the Canadians. What are you doing? Come back to La Belle Provence. I know you have to fight Martin St. Louis, and it's going to be awkward and weird, but you know what? The fight you're not going to win? The fight against the Predators on Saturday night. I like the Predators playing for really nothing. They have a postseason spot locked up. Islanders clinging to their lives. I like Islanders losing to the Predators at home.
You snaked that game right underneath me and then stole the pick right out of my mouth. Meatloaf style, not like hetero or homo style.
Okay, all
right. Both of our favorite teams are playing, and you know what? This is the type of guy I am. I'm actually going to let you choose which one you want to go with, and I'm going to defer my second pick to Canucks versus LA. As mentioned, Vancouver playing without their starting netminder. LA, not that they've got a whole bunch to play for, but, you know, there's still something on the line for LA. I think that they're not mailing it in for this season just yet. I think whether they're trying to get back into the Pacific Division and avoid a top team or, you know, just put their best foot forward. I just think LA is the better team to beat here, or the team to beat here and the better team. So LA over Vancouver, one of the late night Saturday night games.
Awesome, solid. What do I want to talk about? I will take this moment to just... I'm glad that we do this, that we both have potentially generational superstars on both of our squads, McDavid and Matthews. We get to watch them on our favorite teams and talk about them and have this like recorded history that's just going to be posted online forever. And we should definitely just like talk more about how awesome McDavid and Matthews are. And we should just like make that a segment of the show. Just like happy times in our lives. Because like at some point in like 15 years in the future when like we're like frustrated with the drafting and the farm systems of these teams, we could come back and be like, remember when you had like maybe the best player ever in the world on your team again for the second time in your lifetime? And like, remember when the best goal scorer ever played on your team? And I'm like, yeah, the good old days.
We could call it the Best Friends podcast. And the intro could be you and me holding hands in a field and Matthews and McDavid holding hands in a field. And we're just frolicking.
That's it.
Just best friends having a good time.
Hopefully the good times never, ever stop. Will they stop tomorrow night when the Leafs play the Canadians? Let's just do it. Let's just pull that Band-Aid off. No, I think probably the Leafs win.
Wow. I think for the first time, you have taken the correct stance. And I think the price, the price on the Leafs right now is coming down for some reason, which is a little curious. So I'm interested to see what the betting line is, but you're right. Toronto's just the right team to be on.
Yeah, awesome.
You know who the wrong team to be on? I'm actually going to shit all over your best friend's idea right off the bat because I'm taking a firm stance against the Oilers. Firm stance. They, not that they're playing terribly, but lackluster. There's just a missing spark. Things just haven't been going the way you expect them to. And Calgary, like I said, has been playing well. And they knocked off the Oilers at the last time these teams met. I think it was a few weeks ago now. I'm expecting that to be the case again when they take on Edmonton at the Scotiabank Saddledome on Saturday night.
Awesome. Solid. Do you think that for some reason you're going to end up in like Jack Campbell's going to be like your Jakob Markstrom in a couple years? You're just going to like maybe next year give him some starts, build up some head of steam, and all of a sudden you're like, man, this is he's actually playing really well for $5 million a year. And then somebody's like, we'll give you like a second round pick for him. And Ken Holland, who's still the GM at that point, he's like, nah, I'm good. Like, is that going to make you upset?
Oh, man. So Ken Holland's around for another 5 years. He said signed a 5-year extension sometime between the last time we spoke.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I think it's a big mistake. Anyways,
yeah, that's not
watch
good.
Jack Campbell lead the Oilers to the Stanley Cup and just become this fucking, like, legend in the city. And then you're just going to get regular season Jack Campbell for the next 4 years. You know that Office episode where they go to Pennsylvania to do the quiz and Kevin's team wins? And then they go back to
I literally just watched that episode last night.
That's Jack Campbell. That's what Jack Campbell is.
Yeah, he needs a Slumdog Millionaire type scenario. All right. And then finally, my final pick of my extra picks. I'm going to look at marquee matchup. I'm going to go prime time, 8 o'clock Sunday night. You get Dallas Stars at the Colorado Avalanche, potentially odds-on favorite for the Stanley Cup. I guess I couldn't be finalist, but potentially represent the West in the Stanley Cup this year. These two juggernaut teams, we're playing them both, seeing them both play great hockey. I'm going to go with the Stars, though. I think in terms of just complete product, deeper or depth of scoring, we're probably looking at the Stars. I think they're probably a better team. And unless the MVP himself, Nathan McKinnon, steps up to the plate, the Stars have a pretty good chance of winning that one.
Who's somebody that I respect on the Stars? I hope actually somebody unsuspecting. I hope like Miro Heiskanen or something just dummies McKinnon. Like, some tall, skinny Finn boy who McKinnon just gets dummied by. That's what I'm hoping for. Right. But Dallas win would be a close second.
Awesome. Solid. So that ends our picks for the week. So, we'll come back, recap those, kind of give you a recap on the season. We're pretty close across the board, actually, this year. There's no runaways. Sometimes, some years past, I've been up big. Grant's been up big. We've had a couple close ones. So it's another close year. So well done by both of us. We will do a kind of an end recap, playoff preview sometime before the playoffs start.
God willing. God willing.
We really flew through that one.
But the Canada Puck Podcast would not be the Canada Puck Podcast without our babe of the week. We're going back to Harvard. I think we were at Harvard earlier this year. Anyways, we're going back to Harvard for Hannah Chorsky, Hannah Chorsky, Chorske. Harvard doesn't deserve her. We'll just leave it at that. But, be proud of what you're bringing to the ice every night, Hannah Chorsky, because you have earned our adoration as the Canada Puck Podcast Babe of the Week.
Showing. Excellent, yes. Well done, Hannah Schwartzky. Just Schwartzky. Hannah, and you spelled out Hannah, and Schwartzky, like Schwartzky. And I'm like, oh no.
So many variations.
That was awesome. So for this one, another good season by you. Do we have anything else? Like, we're talking, so it's not like the end of anything. It's like our show's just going to be more exciting. It's like we're going to have something to like pay attention to, as opposed to being like, I haven't watched a hockey game this week. I don't know.
Yeah, and I think that's the exciting thing to look forward to this time of year. It's kind of not a lull, but we know what's going to happen. The dust is going to settle, and NHL playoffs are unrivaled in terms of intensity and excitement. So looking forward to getting amped up over the next few weeks here.
Awesome. So with that, we'll see you guys in a couple weeks. No definitive plans, but definitely before the postseason starts. Then we'll be with you at least till the Canadian teams are eliminated. So,
yep, there you go. And no promises, but probably.
Yeah, probably. Awesome. Till then, see you guys later.
Party on, Mick.
Oh, party on, Grant.
See everybody next week.